What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 43 of the Dadbod Golf Pod. What's up? Monday morning. Let's go. Kyle, Nate, Ben in the house. What's up, fellas?
Lock and load.
Yeah, man. Ready.
I'm just happy to be here, gang. I'm happy to be here. Let's kick off another week. We're going to talk about golf all week long.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Last week.
Yes, we did. Let's go ahead.
Banger week.
And it was a banger week. We're going to have a double banger this week. Let's go. So this weekend obviously was the 20th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. And there's actually a really cool golf related article that came out over the weekend, actually on September 11th, about a tournament being played in Pennsylvania, literally 43 miles, I believe, from where Flight 93 actually crashed. That's the one where the people on board took back the flight, and
it's the famous Todd Beamer flight, the Let's Roll flight,
where saved no telling how many lives they actually saved. But Nate found a really cool article, and he wanted to kind of dive into it for a sec. So hit it, Nate.
And Ben's probably going to give some good insight to this after I finish, because he watched that golf tournament.
Yeah, he let us know that
live. But anyway, it was a 2001.
That's what happens when you're the old guy on the show. You have some experiences that y'all didn't experience.
And we want to do this because anytime you have a platform to talk about things, and you can honor people's memories. Absolutely. That's the purpose of this is to honor the memories of those who lost their lives and those who sacrificed a lot to save lives. So anyway, the 2001 Marconi Pennsylvania Classic only happened for 7 years. No big names won it. It went through a bunch of sponsors. It was the Laurel Valley Country Club in Ligonier. I'm sure I'm butchering that in Pennsylvania, but like Kyle said, 43 miles away from Shanksville. Article mentions that the members of the club saw United Flight 93 fly over the country club. Literally watched it come over. There's probably about 3,000 feet above ground at that point. Arnold Palmer was the founder of the club, and he was the tournament's host. So 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. There was a WGC event and an opposite field event scheduled to start Thursday. Both of those were canceled. The Ryder Cup was supposed to happen a couple weeks later, got postponed. The Ryder Cup was in England, so for travel security purposes, it got postponed to 2002. So this is the first tournament that they play after 9/11. It's 43 miles away from the crash site. There's just a couple little things. Fred Funk's wife was painting American flags on anybody's bag who would ask, and all the flag sticks were U.S. flags.
The Fred Funk wife story, that's a new one. That's something I don't think that got released like that week or got told, or
there's some cool pictures of it.
When I saw the article, I was kind of like, well, that's neat. Why hadn't this been a bigger story than what it was? Because I don't remember that being brought up at all.
For sure.
So that was very cool. Robert Allenby, who you've got to be a pretty hardcore golf guy to know and remember him. He ended up beating Larry Mize and Rocco Mediate. I didn't know this. Ben just told us this before the show started. Rocco is from Pennsylvania, and he was obviously the crowd favorite to win in that context. But
yeah, there were people after the tournament, like social media wasn't then what it is now, and so there were people like pulling against Allenby, like wanting him to throw the tournament so Rocco could win it, because by the time this played, the country was just kind of in that healing mode. Like, you had the Braves and Yankees whenever they played. And I think they were one of the first games back in baseball. And you had the Patriots when they came out, the first football game back, and the famous, running out with the American flag. You got Sammy Sosa that rounded the bases in baseball with a little tiny American flag after he had a home run. He had the first base coach with an American flag in his back pocket that he grabbed and rounded the bases with. And so all these feel good moments, and they kind of wanted Rocco to be they wanted that feel good moment in golf, and didn't get, but I do remember that it just would have been one of those things. I mean, I think he won by 3 or 4 or 5 strokes or something like that. So
he won by 3 or 4 strokes.
Yeah, he was kind of in the zone, so it would have been pretty evident that he was throwing the tournament.
But Ben, And that was, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to that article. And Ben just touched on this. I just had a note to, sports and golf specifically. They do heal us. They give us a sense of normalcy. Even now, during this crazy time that we live in with pandemic, when we got crowds back at PGA Tour tournaments, that was a huge deal. There was a time the Masters got canceled, the Players got canceled back during quarantine.
Ryder Cup got moved.
The Olympics got moved. So, sports, golf gives us something to cheer about, something
escape.
Provides a positive outlook is what I have written on my piece of paper. So anyway, thought that was a cool article to share with you guys before we get into
it's wild to me that the first event back playing golf was 43 miles from the crash site of Flight 93. Wow, that is like kind of gives you chills.
Only happened for 7 years.
And it was only a 7-year tournament. It was a very short length tournament. It didn't last very long. And it just so happened that was the first one back. It kind of gives you chills. And like Nate said, sports bring us together. And that's why we're doing this podcast, because I feel like, we touch several different age groups. We're relatable, and, we want to kind of bring everybody together through the game of golf as well. So awesome find there, Nate. And definitely thinking about those. We were thinking about them all weekend. We need to always be thinking about those that lost their lives and sacrificed so much during that time and all the subsequent years after. So kind of moving on and pivoting a little bit. There was some big news over the weekend. Actually, I believe yesterday, or it would have been Saturday, that the European team for the Ryder Cup is now finalized.
It's now official.
It's locked, loaded, ready to go. We're going to dive into it really quick and kind of pick apart their team and talk about how we feel about it and this, that, and the other. So like Nate explained on the last episode, they have a little bit of a different qualification system. Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. The first one is kind of the race to Dubai leaders, the top four.
That's
which
right.
is basically their FedEx Cup.
That's right.
And then it goes from there to official world golf rankings. And it's the next 5. So they have 9 auto qualifying bids, auto qualifiers, and they only have 3 captain's picks. And they finalized the captain's picks. They announced those, I believe, Saturday. So
I think it was today. I don't think their list gets locked until the BMW tournament that finished today is over. Yeah. And then they just go.
We're recording this on Sunday. Right. So they were announced today. So running through the team really quick. So your auto qualifiers, you have Paul Casey, who's stud. He's
playing well this year.
Really well. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, beautifulest hair in golf. Terrell Hatton, the human soundbite.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Victor Hovland, we're just going to call him Buzzsaw from now on. Rory McIlroy, he needs no introduction. John Rahm also needs no introduction. Lee Westwood, who has gained a second wind as far as his golf career goes, and he's played masterful golf this season. And Bernd Wiesberger was the last auto qualifier. And then you knew who at least 2 of the captain's picks were going to be. You knew who they were going to be. And they were Sergio, of course.
Yes.
Ian Poulter, and then Shane Lowry, the guy that held champion golfer of the year for 2 years, almost the title for 2 years. So does
anybody else get Mark Leishman and Shane Lowry? Just
same guy.
They're actually right next to each other in the world rankings, by the way. I was doing some research.
They're the same guy to me, although they come from like thousands of miles apart.
Yes.
I'll always get them confused. I always get Shane Lowry and Leishman confused.
Opposite ends of the world, literally.
Lowry's he's a big dad bod guy.
Lowry is one of us. He is one of us.
Yeah,
I love the way he talks. I love the way he talks. So I'm a big Shane Lowry guy. I don't know if y'all know that. But what's y'all's initial takeaways? How you feeling about it? Anything surprising from the captain's pick? I mean,
the surprising thing to me that I initially got, not necessarily captain, but the qualifiers, you got to play in X amount of tournaments in their race to Dubai, right? I didn't know Hovland was playing in these tournaments, and here he is an auto qualifier. So I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. I mean,
Did he qualify through the race to Dubai, or he qualified through the world rankings?
It may have been through the world rankings. It had to, because I know like Rory, he doesn't play like any European Tour events anymore. The only time he does is when he goes and plays like the Scottish Open leading up to the Open Championship, and that's just so he can kind of get over there and get his feet wet and kind of get adjusted back to time and all that. Ever since he's moved here, he said, I'm a PGA Tour player. I'm not a European Tour player anymore.
Yep, Florida resident.
Because he caught flack for it because there were a lot of people that were upset that he did that from over there. But it's like, I'm sorry, he's kind of going where the money is. Another thing that stuck out to me, and this is because this got retweeted by Matt Fitzpatrick. So there's a guy it's Tron Carter. I don't know who this is. It's at Tron Carter NLU. I'll go on record as saying that Biesberger is going to have a good Ryder Cup. I'm glad he made it. As much as I like Fitzpatrick, he would have been a terrible fit for this course. Much more complete player now, but he got blown out to sea back in 16. And Fitzpatrick tweeted it and said, well, this is awkward.
Because he made the team.
Because he's an automatic qualifier. And give that guy
6 years ago, Tron.
That guy Tron Carter, at least he owned it because he replied back to him when he said, well, this is awkward. He said, yep, big miss. Go get him, big fella. Like
just all of a sudden a Fitzpatrick fan, just instantly.
Yeah, all of a sudden he jumped on board. But I saw that today and I was like, I have got to drop that with the guys when we're talking about that a little bit later. The other that I wanted to bring up, and I told you I was going to throw on you guys. It wouldn't be a Ryder Cup without Lee Westwood sticking his feet in his mouth again.
Yep.
And he did.
I didn't like them things you saying about me.
Who's going to get him? Who's going to be waiting on him?
He did this back at the Solheim Cup, but it just got responded to this past week by Jessica Korda. So he said that some people will be able to look in the mirror this morning and some people won't. Korda thought that he was talking about her sister because of that that putt that took place. People have defended him and said he wasn't. Said he was talking about the official that stopped it. However, he still hasn't. Both of them are blue check marks. He hasn't responded to Jessica Korda. So I think that he was talking about
100%.
Yeah,
I think what he's saying. Like, of course, the official can sleep because he literally applied the rule. Regardless, he applied the rule regardless. Like what he's saying is, you could have easily conceded the next hole if you didn't agree with the ruling. Yeah, he's definitely throwing shade. He's getting warmed up. He's just getting warmed up.
He is. But when I saw that, I thought, man, when it comes to international play, this guy cannot stay away from just sticking that big glorious foot of his in his mouth and chewing on shoe soles, man. And so this time he picked on the ladies before the Ryder Cup, so I'm kind of wondering if somebody will say
that's
something.
Just a tune-up. That's just
that is. That's the thing. He was getting
geared up. That's
getting warmed up a little bit. So.
Hey,
wait till he starts signing flags. I mean,
it's going to be on.
And dry erase boards that are moving that are around the clubhouse. That's apparently that was an issue.
11 is his 11th Ryder Cup.
11. He's 48 years old. I think he's either the oldest or second oldest person to ever play in a Ryder Cup.
I hope he gets it handed to him every single match.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. He's like totally European Patrick Reed. Yeah.
That's actually Poulter. He's probably a super nice guy. He's even like responded to us on Twitter a few times, but for some reason, man, it just gets under my skin. I don't know.
Yeah, and now that Boo's giving us his side of the story, I really he's he's
now
a pansy. Just like Faldo. He and Faldo are in the same boat together, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Pansy boat, USA.
Exactly. Nate, you got any takes?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys we know Hovland, we know Rahm, we know pretty much all these guys. Weisberger is really the only one that I don't know much about, but I just did a few Kyle-esque stat, got in the basement, did some stuff. So John Rahm's number 1 player in the world, and then number 2 through 11 are all U.S. Ryder Cup participants except for Oosthuizen at number 8, and he is not eligible for the Ryder Cup.
Right.
So I mean, on paper. Holy cow. They've got John Rahm at number 1. They don't have another player till Hovland at 13. And in between that is America's team. So on paper, that is pretty significant. They have a guy outside the top 50 on the team. Weisberger is 61st, which he qualified through Dubai, I believe, the Dubai points. So that's an interesting note. And the average age of the European team is 34.5. I added them all up. Thanks to Kat. Help me do a little math there.
Oh,
so
you put her to work.
you're daggone right.
You got a stat person.
They
now.
got
That's
some
awesome.
old. They got Lee Westwood's 48, Paul Casey's 44.
Kyle's doing his own research, and you're farming it out, man. What is that all about?
Hey, that's called
Garcia's
that's called
41, Poulter's 45. I mean, they've got multiple guys over the age of 40 taking on our young guns, our legends. Dude, bring it on.
And see, the thing is they used to be able to make that statement, but the Europeans care more. The Europeans are closer. I think that is, like I just mentioned, the whole Rory situation about him moving to the U.S. and living here. They're not doing that palling around on the European tour anymore like they used to do. They're living their individual lives. Poulter's down in Florida too, collecting all of his Ferraris that he collects and trying to drive them for like a couple of months and then resell them. You got Rory, who's recently married and having a kid. He's doing his thing. They're not that, you always heard the stories during every riding. Well, these guys, they all ride the bus with one another to go to the next tour event because everything's so close and they're buddy and they're rooming together and they're sleeping in cars together and all this. That ain't happening anymore. That whole cohesiveness and that whole team bonding thing, they're a bunch of individuals just like the Americans are that are now being stuck together in a room in order to try to win for the common good. And the thing is like you just said, on paper, it doesn't bode well for them.
No,
and that's every year. Well, that's every year. But like you said, for whatever reason, man, they just get it done. And
I know, Kyle, you're about to do your take, so I'm real quick. It's so strange to me.
Have much.
It's
full of stats.
The President's Cup and the Ryder Cup. It's the U.S. versus an entire continent. I mean, Rory's from Ireland. Lowry's from Ireland. Casey's from England, I believe. Fleetwood's from England. These guys aren't countrymen. Like a couple of them are in different sections. We're all Americans, and then we play either the rest of the world outside of Europe in President's Cup. We play all of Europe. Like, what's their chant? Like, what's their
shit?
I
know. Ole,
Spain.
ole, ole, ole.
Hey, we're all soccer fans. That's what brings us together for the Ryder Cup.
Exactly.
Anyway, as always, this is a very American thing to do,
For sure. So, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot other than no Justin Rose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yikes.
Ooh. Picked Shane Lowry over Justin Rose. Justin's been a staple for quite a while in the Ryder Cup. This will be Shane Lowry's first Ryder Cup. So that was kind of controversial. Rosie typically plays pretty well. He's not had the greatest year. He I think he finished
he had two equipment switches too. You can
it
always plays that wreaks havoc on a player's game.
But he finished top 10 in the Masters and the PGA.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Masters in the fall or in the spring, and then the PGA at Kiowa. I mean, that's kind of shocking. That was kind of hard to believe that
Justin
Rose.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, the fact that you said that, I guess he was kind of the forgotten soul on the team because we talked about how you got to pick Poulter, just like we said that the Americans really had to pick Reed and didn't. It looks like the Europeans decided to go with their staple of having him in the room. This has got to be Poulter's last Ryder Cup. I mean,
at what point are you just carrying him because of his? Yeah.
I mean,
but then again, would you say that about Westwood last time? Maybe.
What if he goes out and throws hands again? I mean, what if he goes out and he just lays the smoke again? Like, what do you do? I mean,
he's a great.
Only 2 years away. It's not like it's.
He's gonna play decent. He has not been playing well, but he's gonna putt lights out. He always does in the Ryder Cup. So, and then he's probably gonna get stuck being paired with one of the quote Americans that's not playing very well right now. So he probably will win his individual match whenever he goes up against somebody that's not.
He's 5-0 in singles.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
5-0-1,
0 losses.
Never lost in singles.
They may keep until he's 55.
That's why they're taking him, because he's a guaranteed point on singles. I mean, he's
maybe a player captain one day.
You're up 1-0 with Poulter on the team in singles play. You're already up 1-0.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, even if he loses this year, does that mean you don't take him in 2 years from now? Like, I mean, it's not like it's.
I'm just saying he's on social media and he's talked about how just poorly he's played all year long. again, I think they had to pick him this year. We said that earlier in one of the, we were like, you gotta pick Sergio and you gotta pick Poulter, and they did.
You know who would have guaranteed to take him down was Kevin Na. For sure would have handed him his first loss.
No,
100%
would have
Na
totally
versus Poulter.
walked
100 times in a row. Na wins 100 times.
You know who won't beat him?
After
Daniel
putt after
Berger.
putt.
No.
And
Na would
that's
be
who get
437th in the world in strokes gained.
And that's
on
what
the
I'm saying.
golf cart.
That's who they're going to pair him with in singles play, and he's going to end up being 6-0 because
Berger. Scotty Scheffler.
Well, hey, no, I didn't know this until last week. So the home team gets to see the visiting team's pairings first. So they get to see, and then they get to pair that. So we get to see their lineup, and then we get to give we get to match up based off of what we think. I did not know that. I thought it was all a blind draw. So hopefully we can find somewhere to place.
Is that for all of it? Is that for alternate shot? Is that for team play or a 4-ball play? Is that for
all of them?
I
singles,
guess
singles
I know
play
it's
too?
for. I definitely know it's for singles. I
Okay.
would imagine that would be kind of weird to say you only have the advantage for one round of it, but maybe it is only singles. So I got I want to see what y'all think about who do you think, not named John Rahm, who do you think will be the leading point scorer on this team? Like who's your guy on this team that you think is going to be the most dangerous?
I'm gonna say Poulter's gonna win his singles match, but I don't think he's gonna be the guy.
I think he's gonna be the points getter.
I think McIlroy will miss his buddy Patrick Reed. Maybe they'll FaceTime. But I think outside of the number one player in the world, second in player of the year voting, Rory McIlroy will be the anchor, the front runner.
I was gonna go either Casey or McIlroy. Casey's just playing well right now, so I think he can. If he's gonna do like he's been doing and put it in the fairway and put it on the green, if he gets a hot putter, he could walk away with a few points in this whole thing. He could be the point getter for Team Europe. But Rory he's kind of like, he'll be the Ian Poulter and the Sergio when he gets to be in his 40s and early 50s, where they're going to want him just because he means so much to the European team. So he seems to step it up during this. So Nate's probably right. But if without copying Nate, I'll say Casey.
I'm terrified of Victor Hovland. I don't know why. I think it's because
he gets nervous though. He admits he gets nervous.
I think it's because he has a nervousness about him, but he also has this like carefree attitude where it's like the moment should be bigger, but I'm just kind of like goofing around and like you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of you see like those little league games and you got like the dude in right field who's not paying attention. It's like he reminds me of that kid who's like playing with dandelions, but he's really good at golf.
He's just gonna jump up and catch one if it comes out.
Yes.
Or when he gets to the plate, he's like 5 for 5 with 3 home runs in Little League World Series. Like
but like he just doesn't even look like he cares. Those kind of guys
hit
scare
dingers.
me. Hits dingers. Yeah, those kind of guys scare me. He's also, this being his first time, this being his first Ryder Cup. Those guys don't really, they may be nervous, but when you have that carefreeness that he has, I think it will help him because he's playing really good golf. Like you said, he's 13th. Was he 13th in the world or 13th in the FedEx Cup? What would you say, Nate? He was
13th in the world rankings. Yeah, he's 13th, their second best guy on.
He's their second highest ranked guy on the squad, and I just think I'm just worried about him. I'm worried that he could be the guy that you don't account for, that comes out and scores, earns, 5 or 6 points, or not 5 or 6, earns 3 or 4 points.
That'd be impressive.
And, that would be impressive. Earns, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the guy that
sweeps his matches. Yeah.
Like you kind of account for guys like John Rahm and Rory to get theirs, but he may be a guy that comes and maybe outperforms them and you're not expecting it. So,
well, he's the type of guy that's he's gonna chip in, or he's gonna fly one in for eagle from a 150 out or something of that nature, because he did that just a few tournaments ago where he could have been completely out of a hole and he ended up, it was a par 5 and he went in the trash twice, but he played it from the trash instead of taking a penalty stroke, and he still parred the hole before it was all said and done with because he ended up chipping in, or no, ran in like a 30-footer to save par. So he's that guy that can do that. And I guess that's going to be the scary part of his game is he's just young enough that stuff like that doesn't bother me. Oh, it's a 30-footer. Yeah, it's easy. Right to left. I can make that. I got that.
I've got 3 matchup scenarios that I want you guys to give me an opinion on. Singles on Sunday. Okay. All right. So first one is Hatton versus Bryson. You've got the human microphone versus the guy Bryson, who is the entire needle of golf.
Yes. Golf world. Did y'all see that? Have y'all seen that Instagram?
What if Hatton starts walking ahead of Bryson during a shot? Like, what's he going to say to Bryson? Bryson's like, hey, Tyrell. Hang on a second, please.
Hey, Ty. Hold on, buddy.
I wonder how many of them that do get paired playing against him. I wonder how many of them do
stuff.
Get on a
little
start.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean that little game behind the game that
tapping your
Stricker in the. I mean, it'd be hard not to if you're out there. Yeah, like you know, not tapping your watch, but if you know you can pull the whole caddy today, please today. Like, you know, just calmly say a few things to kind of get under his skin. And
what if the story comes out
unflappable? Bryson's going to be unflappable and dominate this course with his length.
What if a story comes out that like whoever's playing Bryson on Sunday like goes to Brooksy and be like, hey, what, you know, give me some advice. What should I do?
What should I do?
All right. The next one is Rom versus Cantley. Just right back at it, right back in the ring. Who do you like? Last match on Sunday.
I like Cantley. He's unflappable. I like him.
My man.
Yeah.
My man.
And it's gotta be in Rom's gourd too, man. He's like, what have I got to do to beat this guy?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good thing.
You know, they talk about how hard it is to beat people twice, like in the SEC when you got to play somebody in the regular season, you got to play
which has been proven is completely BS. That's like just like a saying people say.
It's a good saying. It's good content.
No, so this is my thing. Length is my only worry there because Rom can get there on this course. He can get this course. Cantley's not just like the shortest guy in the room, but you know when you're in match play formats, and you know I know he kind of just lived it with Bryson. This is just a different animal. This course is just a different animal. So that matchup worries me. A little bit. I kind of rather see somebody a little bit more firepower, like maybe, I don't know, maybe like Brooks or somebody like that that's got a little bit more firepower go up against Rom. That matchup would kind of scare me.
And then my last one was just like, I mean, I just kind of tried to pick the 2 biggest veterans, which I guess would be Westwood. And I mean, there's not really a big veteran on the U.S. team. I mean, DJ, has he maybe have the most Ryder Cup appearances on the American team?
He would be up there.
I guess. I don't. Looking at the list, it's got to be him.
Justin, Tom. I mean, all these guys are young. Justin, Xander, Bryson.
It's definitely not.
I would say DJ's got to be up there as far. But anyway, I was just trying to the two veterans, the 2 guys who have been there before, which none of the U.S. players have anywhere close to 11 appearances. That's ridiculous, ludicrous.
Do you think that gives you an advantage? Do you think 11 Ryder Cups really gives you an advantage, or does it just make you old?
I think it just makes you old now because there's so much match play. Like there's so many WGC events now where these guys are all playing head to head against one another.
There's not that many.
You know, before
1 or 2 a year.
Yeah, but still, it's more than what it used to be. Like, I think it's 4. I think it's 4 per year. So, and then you got the match play championship that they're used to, and they got their clubs, their whole going head to head against one another. I mean, I know that's a whole different scale, but those competitive juices are still flowing.
You talking about the 2 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured you were talking about.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't. I'm like what Kyle just said. I think it just makes you. If you got, I've been here 11 times. Congratulations.
Do you think
you know your way around the clubhouse? We'll follow you.
Do you think that 6 rookies versus their 3 is an advantage or a disadvantage? We have 6 guys playing their first Ryder Cup. They only have 3. Does that worry you at all, or that sort of the same thing?
I think my question to that would be, I wonder if our rookies have played this course more than their rookies, with them being European Tour rookies.
Oh, I didn't do that research, Ben. I don't know.
Say, what's their strokes gained average at Whistling Straits? Can we get all rookies reporting with strokes gained average for Whistling Straits
I
in
need
Wisconsin?
to know strokes gained off the tee and putting from Whistling Straight.
Also, strokes gained on the chipping green in the third hole from the left.
Exactly.
The only person I know for sure that's even played this course is Dustin Johnson, because he grounded his club.
He did.
Yeah, he knows that course.
That's the only. I tell you what, I bet he knows where that bunker is.
What if Westwood just like
doubt.
does snow angels in it and like says, "What's up, DJ?"
Have they changed that rule yet there?
And they changed it everywhere.
I have no idea, Ben. I think
It's whatever's posted in the locker room.
It's
Better
a
look in
local
the
rule.
locker room. Yeah.
We should
It
have
was
gone
on
over
the,
that.
it was on the sheet of paper. Remember, that was what they told him. He didn't read the sheet of paper. We were like, DJ doesn't read. What are you talking about? That's not good.
He can. We're not saying DJ can't read. Just go ahead and get that out there.
He's
The
just
Dad
not
Bod
gonna.
Golf
If you
Pod is not saying
if you hand
DJ
him a sheet
is
of paper,
illiterate.
he's gonna turn around and hand that to his agent or his caddy and be like, "What does that say?"
Hey,
Like,
tell me
he's
what
not-
I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to go over here. What do I need to
Brooksy, you want to go do some reps?
do? Paulina.
I mean, you know where he was when he grounded his club and got told that.
It's a
You know,
really
he
good
looked at his.
impersonation.
You know, he looked at
Thanks.
his brother at his brother that's a caddy. He's like, "Where were you on that one, man?"
that's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, you guys are killing that. I remember Faraday was in there. He's like, looks more like a manger in here than a bunker.
What a time.
That was not
What
a very
time
good
it
I
was.
couldn't miss out on the impersonations, but I failed.
You jumped in. You tried
I
to
just
be.
took the
You
jump
didn't want to be
right
not
into
included.
David Fairview.
You jumped in the cool room and you did not fit in well.
You did not want to be not included. That was
It happened all my life. I was homeschooled. It's part of who I am.
Hey, bad news, guys.
Yes, sir.
Guido Migliozzi. He's gonna have to wait
Yeah.
till next year.
Oh
tough.
man, yeah, I know.
I don't get
That is
it
tough.
because I guess this the rankings, the Ryder Cup ranking site, I guess that their ranking system is the way it shoots out the rankings is the way that the Americans do. We do
Mhm.
ours, but
Yep.
their format, the way they pick is different because like Hovland is 12th, Westwood is 17th on their list. It's crazy. It's like
Anybody want to guess where Guido is on the World Golf rankings?
Oh, he's got to be top 30 with a name like that.
I can't.
Nope.
Where is he?
I was kind of hoping you.
71.
Oh,
71. So close. So close. He's knocking on the door.
he is.
He's poison ready.
He may
That's only
be-
10 spots off of their worst guy, though. Weisberger's 61.
Is that
So-
one of those where he sends a text to the captains? He's like, "I'm here if you need me, guys."
Yeah.
I'm
Guido-
sitting on go. I got the bags packed. I am ready.
Guido got robbed.
Yes, he
So
did.
you get what you get for taking him out of it. So do we want to wait, or do we want to do any early predictions? Maybe not who
No, we
wins or
gotta
who
wait.
loses, but or who, like, is there any sort of anything that you predict's going to happen that may not necessarily result in a win, or is there anything out there that you kind of feel like is going to happen that we could talk about now before we actually predict winners and losers?
Berger and Scheffler will embarrass themselves, and they will embarrass their captain, and
they're-
Nate will be correct, and Kevin Na and Patrick will be laughing the whole time.
That's
I'm
a good
using this as reverse psychology because this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I think Colin craps the bed and doesn't play very well at
one.
all.
Morikawa. Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh,
I think he's number one on the
Yep.
rankings.
And he's going to be paired with all their number one. And I think he's just not going to do well at all. I think
Hmm.
he's going to be one of those rookies that you were talking about that does the moment get a little too big? I think it could. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's never played in front of crowds until this year.
he won a major in front of crowds this year.
Just
I mean,
this year. I know. But I'm just saying,
Just
won
saying,
the Ryder Cup crowd.
for sure.
Whole different ball game.
Here's
That's
my
not very
prediction.
loyal. Go ahead.
Here's my prediction. It's going to be a blowout one way or the other. I don't know which way. Not going to say which way, but I think it could be a blowout either way. I don't think
Not
it's going to be
close.
close. I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be like at least 3, possibly 4 points differential.
My mother would argue with that. She's one of those people. She's a conspiracy theorist. She thinks all NBA finals, all World Series, all Ryder Cups. They all are rigged, and they're all getting together, and they throw it so they make for good television. So it comes down to the end on the last day. Like, she's a huge proponent. She's like, I just know they get together, and that's what they do. They
Let's get her on here. Let's get her on here and talk about that.
make a
Let's get her on the guest list.
yeah, exactly.
Reach out to her. agent.
First
Let
Friendship
her
Friday.
let her defend herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
It does make every time she says it though. Every time she's ever brought that up, it would go like to a game 7, or it'd come down to, Sunday making a final putt or something. And I'm like, well, maybe she's got a point. Maybe they.
Is it
are
your
doing
mother, or
well.
your mother-in-law?
No, it's my mother. Not my mother-in-law.
If your mother's listening, she should go to Swannies.co and
Yes.
order you a new shirt, so you don't have to wear that one anymore.
You don't like my shirt?
Dadbod
You don't
Golf
like my
Pod
Masters
dash
shirt?
25,
You don't like my azaleas?
25% off the hottest, sexiest. You'll guaranteed to break whatever score you want to break, if it's 100 or if it's 70.
It's impossible to
apparel.
shoot over 100 in these shirts. I'm telling you. It's
No, you
impossible.
can't. You cannot do it.
Kyle and I are going to be twins because I got the legend shirt on the way.
Nice.
That's different than your box. Have you gotten the email yet, Kyle? For the
I
box?
have not. Our box is coming this week, though. I looked it up. It said the second week of September, their quarterly subscription box. I can't wait to get it. It's a big surprise. I do know that it's supposed to be seasonal, so maybe we'll get some sweet layering pieces. They got everything. It's not just polos. They got layering pieces. They got joggers. They got shorts. They got everything. So if they put a pair of joggers in there, I'm going to be pretty fired up. I'm just going to go ahead.
I'm going to be so fired up
Yes.
to see you wear joggers.
If I get them, you're probably going to get them too. So
Dude, if you hit a dinger in joggers,
you're the man.
that's it. You're done.
That is the epitome of maleness right there.
Just hot-blooded American male in joggers pounding at 320. Hello, I'm Kyle Rush, and welcome.
Absolutely. So
But enter your code. Be sure to enter your code so you can get that
yeah,
discount, man.
Dadbod Golf Pod -25.
And you get the discount even on stuff already on sale. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that or
Not
not.
supposed
but
to.
you do.
Probably not, but hey,
They didn't tell us that
they
we
didn't tell us
couldn't.
not to. So
They didn't tell us not to, and they didn't tell us that we could. So, but we are. So we're just
Absolutely.
doing it until they tell us to stop doing that.
Sweetrollzgolf.com.
With a Z.
With a Z. Dadbod 20. Take 20% off your order. They have
Mhm.
awesome putter grips. Nate's got one on the way. Nate, what do you got on the way?
The hula girl, no doubt.
Hula girl.
Kyle told me that it was so Nate. I don't
That's
know what that
totally
means.
Nate.
But
Totally
yeah,
Nate.
hula
You kinda
girl's
look
gonna be
Hawaiian.
rocking this week.
You have a Hawaiian look to you. It just
Thank
kind
you.
of felt like
Gotta be- it's the shorts.
Thank you. I don't have
Yeah,
any on
so-
right now.
Sweet
I'm not
roll,
shocked.
sweetrollzgolf.com, Dadbod 20, take 20% off your order. We appreciate it. Like I said, episode 43. We'll be back again tomorrow. Make sure to rate, subscribe, review on the Apple Podcast app. More reviews, more good ratings, so to
Sure.
speak. I guess that's what
Mhm.
more ratings,
You
more
got
reviews.
it. You got
The
it.
better will show up in search results.
Yes.
So make sure you go do that. If you leave a funny one, we'll read it online. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Dadgummit. We need to get
Tell
more
a friend to
subscribers.
subscribe to our
Tell a
YouTube
friend.
channel.
Tell a friend. Send this show right now on
Yes.
YouTube to someone and say, "Hey, subscribe to this
Smack
show
that share button.
because I want to live chat these dudes while they're doing this." So
Especially if
Yes.
they're into golf. We're the only daily bot. I was going to say daily. Dad
Good
bod,
gracious,
but
guys.
we're
Come on now.
yeah, only daily golf podcast out there.
We're wearing pants, Nate. I'm sorry. It seems to affect us. We
Yeah, well.
apologize.
Free legs, free speech. Come on with it. Dadgummit.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all tomorrow.
Dad bod golf pod.
Always stroking.
Stroking.